Welcome back to the All About RFID series. I'm Kyle Stanford, your RFID solutions architect here at RedBeam, and today we're talking about the future of RFID and what's next. So, as I showed you, I think in video 1 or 2, RFID is growing. It's not just growing at some nice steady linear pace. This thing is a hockey stick. It's going to grow big. Because it's growing so fast, there is a lot of money and a lot of tech being put behind it, which makes me excited about some of the future stuff. I'm going to discuss some of the things that we already know are coming because they're happening, they're just not happening at scale yet, and then some of the things that we hope happens. So in general, everything is getting smarter, right? So RFID is getting smarter. No longer is it just a tag being read by a reader, and that reader just has the data locally and they put it in a database and look at it. That's great. It's how RFID was traditionally done. Now we're passing it to the cloud, like a RedBeam application, right? That cloud application is able to use some business intelligence, do some logic on it, create some workflows, trigger lights, alarms, notifications, send it off to further end systems, right? It's allowed to send it on to analysis software, right? So a very manual, still thing, like looking at all that data. But the biggest implication of this is that there's so much data. I have tenants with 400, 500,000 tags that are moving thousands of times a day. I can't even write good analysis software for that, right? So this is where we're looking at AI, taking all of that data and making it mean something to us. I know AI is like just one of those words in the industry that everybody likes to throw out, but the reality is we can't analyze this level of data without the help of AI. It is not human interpretable in any way. A SQL database would lose its mind. It's got to use some level of AI to actually look at all of that data and give us some meaningful business intelligence from it. It's also passing that same data to other devices, right? IoT devices or anything out there. So RFID, these are not just readers anymore. They're small computers that are able to do a lot directly on them, and they can talk directly to other devices. So, I mean, there's a point where you're asking Alexa to go find your forklift, and it's theoretically possible, just not logical, right? So RFID readers are getting smarter, tags are getting smarter. This is pretty cool. So we already have tags that have some environmental sensors built into them, right? So think about taking a pizza box, right? Your Domino's pizza box shows up, had an RFID tag, they tracked it through their whole little process of getting it created and when it went out the door, so they know what time it went out the door. And then by the time it gets to you, there's a tag that says, all right, if this tag is red, it's still good and hot, but if it's green, then it was, or if it's blue, then it was cold, right? So you can tell just immediately that it was let sit too long, and you can complain about it, and they can go back and say, well, the tag left our door at 8:36 p.m. It didn't make it to you till 9:42 p.m., so we have a problem. Literally anything can be tracked. I know pizza is such a bad example. I'm just really hungry, guys. It's dinner time, and I know this isn't the last video for you, but this is my last video to record. So, printable RFID. So not just tags, but literally printable RFID. So if you think about an inkjet printer, how it's laying down ink, think about laying down the little metal contacts directly onto paper. So no longer do you have to go purchase, right now you do, but no longer in the future may you have to go purchase these. You can just print your RFID tags directly onto the things. That's going to give you the ability to do crazy things. It's going to be the ability to literally weave a tag into fabric. No longer would you have to place it on a tag or stick something on. It literally could be woven into the fabric, directly into packaging. So no longer is it a nice inlay that's on the back of a label, but it's literally part of the plastic packaging and just embedded into it. Every time packaging is made, RFID tag goes in it, right? A really cool one is Smart Dust. So one of our customers actually alerted me to this, and I just had to go research it. But I believe it's Hitachi has came out with essentially a technology where they can take dust and turn it into RFID sensors, among other things. But think about just being able to sprinkle some dust on something, and now you can read that with an RFID reader. So tags are literally on everything you buy in the future. They're going that way. This is not some crazy prediction. This is what's happening because it makes sense. And every step of the process, whether it be the manufacturing or the retail environment, tagging it increases productivity and streamlines those processes. So we talked about readers a little bit and how they're getting smarter. Their computers, they're literally doing that edge computing, right? So this is a computer. It doesn't necessarily need to talk out to the cloud to do anything. It can do instant updates, alerts, and a lot of the things on it that these used to not be able to do. There is a future where you buy readers and they all just talk to each other, and you don't even need an edge application to actually talk to the readers. They just bundle up together and say, hey, just hit this web interface and you can control all of us. They're getting to that level where they have that processing power, where they can do all of that on their own. They don't have time to wait for your Wi-Fi sometimes. Sometimes we need immediate alerts. We need a conveyor to divert, or an alarm to go off, or a light to turn on, or a gate to open. And waiting on the latency of some of these internet connections can actually kill some of those projects. So it's not even a future thing. The capability is there today. It's just getting utilized more and more like that. In a lot of our situations, we're actually using it both ways. We'll use it for immediate alerts locally, and then we'll cache that information out in the cloud for the user to review in reports, right? Global adoption is coming. It is not just coming, it's almost here. There is a point where everybody, because of standards like GS1 and SG 1096, different things like that, everybody is going to be able to encode tags in a way that everybody in the world understands. All these tags are going to start speaking the same language. You're going to be able to take any RFID tag and read it and tell where it came from, what product it is, and then give a serial number for it. And that's going to be very, very powerful in the long run for RFID. It's going to make it easier to adopt. It's going to make it make a lot more sense for companies that are taking materials from one company to put into their product, and they can read the RFID of it, and they put it into their product, and they tag their product, and everything's kind of coming together and meshing together in a way that actually makes sense, because standards organization have picked this up and started running with it and creating these standards. And I know I shouldn't get excited about this, but I'm a nerd and I can't help it. So my hopefully list, right? Some of these are already kind of happening, but the biggest one for me is RFID-driven inventory in every retail store that you go to. I don't want to have to check online to see if something is in stock. It say that it's in stock only to show up into the store and it wasn't ever really in stock. There's the capability for every store to know real-time inventory of their store at any given time. That's coming. It's happening at a lot of stores that you know of, but it is coming in the future. Automated checkout. Again, this is one you've probably seen videos of. There's a few little pilot stores like this where you just walk in, grab your stuff, you check out, maybe you tap your card to pay, or if you have an account with them, maybe you just walk in, grab your stuff and walk out, light turns green, little guardrail comes up, you walk out of the store, the door opens, whatever it might be. Instant asset tracking. Again, this is kind of here, but it's getting to a level where organizations don't have to lose high-value assets. Assets can be expensive. There is a lot of these organizations we work with, we help them make an ROI, or return on investment, in order to buy our asset tracking product. They have to justify it somehow, and a lot of times that can be justified by loss. They are losing laptops. They are losing high-value electronics, barcode scanners, different crazy stuff like that. And the price of our software often tends to be less than 1 year of their lost items. We can account for that, fix it, and not only do they have instant visibility of all their other assets, they also stop losing stuff. Smart packaging. So I kind of hinted at this, but essentially you have smart packaging where they could integrate the label into the packaging, right? It's not just a UPC code on the outside or a sticker on it, but it's integrated into the packaging. But now take that to another level, and now your packaging, right? Say it's a thing of ham from the store, has one of those environmental sensors built into the packaging. This isn't a sticker on top now. And the color of the logo of the ham changes when it thinks it's spoiled. You're gone on vacation, the fridge turns off, it gets too hot. Fridge turns back on before you get home. You get there, you don't know that it's spoiled, but the packaging knows that it's spoiled because it hit that relevant temperature that changes the color of that sensor on top of it. Yeah, there's a lot. The reality is I don't really know what's going to happen with RFID. I know it's going to get bigger. I know more people are going to implement it. I know that the future is bright, and I need to keep learning. And if you don't know anything about it, you need to start learning now. So yeah, stick around for the next video. Maybe. It's the wrap-up video. I don't talk about anything important. I don't even have a name for the video. It's the wrap-up video. I just talk. So talk to you then.